Shutdown is the simplest and most used way to turn off your system. It immediately stops and closes all running programs and fully powers down your computer. To do this, you can click the Shutdown option from the Start menu or open Command Prompt. Type this command and press Enter. You can press Alt and F4 on the desktop and click OK, or visit the website I linked in the description to find even more ways to shut down your system. In the end, no matter which method you choose, all of these will shut down your computer. Unplugging is the fastest way to turn off a computer when you're in a hurry or simply don't want to use any of the normal methods. Pulling the power cable, switching off the power supply, or removing a laptop battery immediately cuts power to the motherboard. This also cuts power to the HDD or SSD and to the RAM. When the RAM loses power, all of its data is instantly erased, including running programs and operating system services. As a result, the operating system is forced to stop without going through the normal shutdown process. This kind of forced shutdown can damage the operating system and in some situations, even affect hardware. Modern operating systems are much better at handling sudden power loss than they used to be, but the risk is still there. In some cases, the system may not be able to repair itself properly afterward, especially if the power is cut in the middle of a major update. Restart is basically the same as shutdown, except that after turning off, the computer automatically turns back on. Everyone knows that part, but what many people don't know is that there is a major difference between shutdown and restart. Starting with Windows 8, Microsoft introduced a feature called Fast Startup. If this feature is enabled on your Windows, when you shut down the PC, the state of some settings, drivers, and hardware tables is saved to the disk. The next time you turn on the computer, Windows can load faster because it skips some of the startup checks that were already saved. But a restart works differently. When you restart the computer, Fast Startup is ignored. Nothing is saved for the next boot, and Windows performs a full startup process. Because of this, a computer will often take slightly longer to start after a restart than after a shutdown. This is also why shutting down the computer doesn't always fix problems, such as a keyboard or mouse suddenly stopping working. In many cases, a full restart is needed because it completely reloads Windows and all of its drivers. Of course, you can easily disable Fast Startup through the Control panel in the Choose What the Power Buttons Do section. Sleep is the best option if you are in the middle of something important and only want to leave your computer off for a few minutes or hours without closing any programs. When you put your computer to sleep, all running tasks are paused exactly where they are, and the system enters a low power state. Most parts of the computer either lose power completely or switch to a very low power usage profile, while the RAM remains powered so it can keep all of your data. After you press the power button, the system turns all components back on in less than a second and becomes ready to use again. This high speed is possible because the operating system, programs, drivers, BIOS checks, and practically everything else were already loaded and preserved in RAM. One important thing to remember is that sleep mode still uses a small amount of electricity. The power usage is very low, but it is not completely zero. Every laptop and desktop computer has a physical power button used to turn it on. But what happens if you press that button while the computer is already on? In Windows, the behavior of the power button can be customized. You can easily open the Control panel, go to Power Options, and then open the Choose What the Power Buttons Do section. From there, you can decide exactly what Windows should do when the power button is pressed. For example, it can shut down the computer, put it to sleep, hibernate, or do nothing at all. You can also press and hold the power button. Holding it down for several seconds performs a forced shutdown. This works very much like pulling the plug and immediately stops the system. The main difference is that the motherboard is controlling the power off process, so the chance of physically damaging hardware is extremely low. However, because the operating system is still being stopped without a normal shutdown process, there is still a risk of data loss or operating system corruption. As the name suggests, this method is especially for laptops. Closing the laptop lid works very much like pressing the power button. In the control panel, you can choose what action the system should take when the lid is closed. By default, Windows and most other operating systems put the laptop into sleep mode when you close the lid. But as I said, you can change this behavior to any action you want. Setting it to do nothing can be useful if you want to quickly close your laptop while you're working, without interrupting any of your tasks. An operating system can have multiple user accounts, each with its own permissions, settings, programs, and running processes. When you sign into your account, Windows starts a number of background processes for your session. Any program you launch also runs under your account and can be seen in Task Manager by both you and other users with the proper permissions. Each user gets their own environment and can use the system independently from everyone else. Signing out does not turn off the computer. Instead, it closes your session and stops all programs and processes that were running under your account. The operating system itself continues running, and other users can still sign in and use the computer. So from now on, if an app crashes, Windows becomes slow or freezes, instead of immediately shutting down or restarting the whole PC, first try signing out of your account and then signing back in. In many cases, this will solve the problem without turning off the system. Hibernate is my favorite way to turn off a computer. This method is a combination of shutdown and sleep. The computer turns off completely, but when you turn it back on, all of your programs, windows, and tasks are restored exactly as they were before. It's like sleep mode, but without keeping the computer powered on. But how does it work? When you put a computer in hibernate mode, Windows takes everything currently stored in RAM, including open programs, running processes, and the rest of the session state, and writes it to your computer's disk, and the computer shuts down completely. The next time you power on the system, Windows loads all of that saved data back into memory, which lets you continue your work exactly where you left off. As I said, in hibernate mode, the system is fully powered off. So after it shuts down, even if you remove the laptop battery, unplug the computer, wash it, or even set it on fire, when it powers on again, everything will still be where you left off, because the contents of RAM were saved to the disk, just like your personal files, installed programs. That's exactly why, and also because of the sleep mode bug in Windows, which I explained. Buttons do. Click the link for changing unavailable settings, and then check the hibernate.